morning everyone, this is Bremster and today I'm coming to you with a puzzle called OBI-Sudoku by Olima. OBI-Sudoku, I think I know what that stands for. I'm not sure if it was stated in the submission email, maybe I should have read it more closely. But before I get onto the puzzle, so this is another puzzle where I can showcase the new feature that is in the test cracking the cryptic or Sudoku Pad app. If you go to Sudoku Pad, which is the link I provided, you go to the hamburger menu, go to open in test.crackingthecryptic.com. You will be able to select all of these cells by just double clicking on them because it will select similar constraints now. If the constraints are all set up the same, so you will be able to select them all, and that may be helpful for this puzzle. I don't know. We will get to that when I explain the rules. The thing that will be helpful for is if you are doing the Polarizing Sudoku Puzzle Pack, all of the odd-even constraints will be selectable that way. So feel free to grab the pack and give it a shot. You will be able to submit answers to that one through to me by email up until I think it's the 21st, might be the 24th of June, in order to be eligible to be read out on the channel and to be in for a prize that I've still got to figure out what it's going to be. I will hopefully come up with something. But apart from that, let's look at the puzzle. So this is OBI-Sudoku by Olima, which I think stands for odd box indexing, because the rules are odd and box indexing, which I will explain. First of all, we have normal Sudoku rules. In every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. We then have these blue circles in the grid, and what they mean is the circles must both be odd and they must be box indexing. And there is an example given in the rules. And what that means is that, for example, or box indexing means that it's easier with the example. So if we were to put a 7 into row 4, column 6, which is here. So if we were to put a 7 there, that means that because this is the third position in the box, that is going to force a 3 into the 7th position in the box, which is row 6, column 4. So a 7 in the third position in the box forces a 3 into the 7th position in the box, and a 3 in the 7th position in the box forces a 7 into the third position of the box. All such cells are given. Now, the thing that I'm confused about by this is, I believe what that means is all odd box indexing cells are given. It's quite possible that there are even box indexing cells because they're not odd. So that might be something I have to watch out for, but all odd box indexing cells are given. So let's give this a shot. So, nothing given apart from the odd box indexing. Because these are box indexing, I'm just going to use box 1 as an example. That means that this cell is either going to have to point to itself or to one of these. Because if this was to point to the 1, if I was to put 3 here, then this would be a 3 and pointing to there, and that would be box indexing, which would be wrong. So this is either going to have to point to itself or to another odd box indexing cell. Do I want to mark all of those as odd? I think I do. I'm going to mark all of those as odd, and then I'm going to do some even coloring as well where I can. So I'm going to get that out of the way first. So these are all even. 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 So that is odd. That is odd. These are even. These are even. These are even, so this is odd. That is odd because I had 4 evens in the box. Is that where it runs out? Possibly. But this cannot point to 5 or 1. So these have to point, and it's the same for these. So these have to be a triple, basically. This is going to be... But... No, wait, that's... No, that's not true. I've obviously got that wrong. Because that's in position 6. So it's not a triple. That just has to point to an odd cell. So... Ah... So this could be, for example, a 4. Because if this is a 4, this could be a 3, because that would be... No, that... This could be a 3, and this would be 4. But yeah, this could be a 4, and this could be a 3. Because, no, that can't be a 4. How does this work? So, if this is a 1, that would be box indexing, but that could not point back at that. So this could be a 1. It just means that that would not be able to point back to it. So these could be anything? Any odd digit? So this is odd. Okay, so this might matter because this is odd. This is an odd digit. But if this was a 1, what would I have to put there? Anything. Except... Because... This... All OBI... So this cell here... Hang on. This cell must be odd and cannot be box indexing. This cell is odd and cannot be box indexing. So this can't be a 6, but it can't be because it's odd. But if I was to, for example, make that a 3 or even a 7, I could make that 7, then this could be... If this was a 7, this could be a 1, this could be a... This could be a 5, this could be a 9, and then this could be a 3, and it would all be fine. I can't see any way of breaking into this puzzle. Because if this was... So let's use this box as an example. If this was a 6, this could be a 7, and this could be a 4, because that's allowed to box index because it's only all odd box indexing cells are given. So there's nothing about even box indexing. That's an odd box indexing. Oh no, that'd be... So no, it's not right, because if that's a 7, that's a 6. So if that's a 7, that could be a 6. That's fine. That doesn't refer back at all. But nothing needs to point at that, and that could point anywhere. Like this could point at 3, and then this could point to 7. Oh no, that maybe that's... If this is a 3, this this can't be a 3. So this can't... So this... Wait, so this can't point at 3, because if this points at 3, then that would have to point back, and it can't do it. So this one can't be a 3. It can't... So these ones can't be 3, is what we're knowing, because that's 6 and 8. Because then they'd have to point back, and it couldn't do it, because they'd have to be even. But anything else could be 3, and these could be anything except 3. As long as they're odd. Like this could be 5, because then I could put 6 there and I'm fine. So is there a box where all of the odds are in even cells? No. But there are boxes where they're mostly in odd cells, which means so these would all have to be... That's just telling me that they all have to be even and the others all have to be odd, which I've already got. So this... So this is a 5, but it's not box indexing. So this... Sorry, position 4, it's odd and it's not box indexing. Now I couldn't put 4 in any of those anyway. So if I was to put, say, a 9 in there, it wouldn't matter. So what can I put in here? So what can I put in here? I could put 1 and have those bounce off each other. I could put 3 and have those bounce off each other. I could put 5 and have those bounce each other. I can't put 7 because that would make that a 9 and that's not going to work. So this is basically 1, 3, 5 or 9. So this has to be the 7 is what we're saying. So, and the same here. If I put a 7 here, this would have to be a 5 and that's not going to work. So all of these are 1, 3, 5 and 9. Similarly up here, all of these are 3, 5, 7 and 9. All of these are 1, 3, 5 and 7 because I can't use the 9. So this is a 9, which means this is not a 9. This is a 1, which means this is not a 1. And these don't include 3. 1, 5, 7 and 9. That's not 7. That there is 3. This is not 3. So we've got a 5 in the middle. And these are 1, 3, 7 and 9. Now that takes 5 out of those. So this is going to index one of those, which means that's not a 5, and that's going to index one of those, which means that's not a 5. So there is stuff there, but what can I do with that now? Because now I've got evens involved. So there's no 5s in those. So this means there's a 5 in one of those. So there's no 5 there. This means there's a 5 in one of those. So there's no 5 there. So this means that there's a 7 in one of those spots, which I've got. This means that there's a 9 in one of those spots, which I've got. Now there is a 1 in one of those. Now if I put a 1 here, that becomes an 8. That's fine. If I put a 1 here, that becomes an 8. If I put a 1... So there's a 1 in one of those two. Because if I put a 1 there, that becomes a 9, and it can't be. So that has given me an X-wing in 1s. So these can't be 1. These are 3, 5, 7, or 9. Whoa. Because 1s are lining up in those cells. Which means one of those has to be 8. But that doesn't mean... And if I can't put 9 there, so 9 is lining up here. So these are 1, 3, 5, 7. Because I can't put 9 there because then that would have to be a 1. that can't be a 9. So that can't be a 1. So 1 is in one of those two, so that's not a 1. That can't be a 9, so 9 is in one of those two, so that's not a 9. So 3 is there, or there, and not there. Three. Hang on, no. This indexing stuff breaks me. If I put... I think I've got all these X-wings wrong, because if I put 1 there, it's self-indexing. I can't put 9 there. It's not 1 I can't put there. So 1 there is fine. It's 9 I can't put there. Because if I put 9 there, that becomes a 1. But I can put a 1 there. I can't put a 9 there. Hang on, I can't put a 9 in either of those two spots. Because a 9 there would make that 1, and a 9 there would make that 2, which is fine. So I can put a 9 there. That's saying that one of those is a 2, which is fine. That can't be a 3, though. Because that's saying there, or there is an 8, and that can't be. So that's not a 3. That's saying there, or there. That's all fine. 3, 5, 7, 9. 3, 5. That can't be a 7. But that can be. So this is 1, 5, 7, or 9. If this is 1, that's 9. So that's not 1. If this is 5, then that's 9, that's 1, that's 9. And this row is broken because I've got an X-wing on 9s here. So I can't put a 9 here. If this is 5, this is 9, and that's broken because 9 is in an X-wing here. So this can't be 5. If this is 7, this is 9, and that's a 9. Wow, that is hard to see. 3, 7 pair makes that 5, which makes that 9. That is really hard to see. You've got to see these X-wings in these cells. So there's no 5 in those. So if that's a 1, that's an 8. If that's a 7, that's an 8. So there's an 8 in one of those two. So I assume I can do the same here. 1, 3, 5, or 9. If this is a 1, that's fine. If this is a 3, this is a 1. That's not going to work. If this is a 5, this is a 1. But I've got an X-wing on 1s here. So this can't be a 5. And if this is a 9, this is a 1, and that's not going to work. This is a 1. There is no 1 in those. That's a 3, 7 pair. That's a 5. That's a 1. Oh, but there's still indexing going on. This 1 means this is a 7, which means this is the 3, which means this is the 7 and this is the 3. This 9 is self-indexing. This 1 is self-indexing. There's no 3 in either of those. There's no 7 in either of those. There's no 1 in either of those. That's a 3, 9. I take 9 out of those. So 9 and 3. So 9 is going here. 3 is putting 9 here. 7 is putting that there. And 5 is putting... Yeah. 9 here is self-indexing. 7 is not indexing at all. 5 is self-indexing. 1 is self-indexing. 7 and 1 are indexing off of each other. 3 and... No. And okay. So... the evens are going to have to come from sort of these even cells at some point. That's not a 3. So there's going to be an 8 either here or here, which lines up putting an 8 in one of those two. Is it that I want to look at? Though there's a lot of options there. That's 1, 5, 7, or 9. Now, if this is a 1, that's a 4. That's okay. If this is a 5, that's a 4. That's okay. If this is a 7, that can't be a 7 because that would put a 4 there, but it could be a 9 putting a 4 there. This is 1, 5, 9. Puts 3 in one of those two. But that can't be a 3 because that would put a 7 there. So this is a 3, which means that's a 4. And I've got another even digit because this has to be 1, 5, 7, or 9. And it's not 1 or 9. This is 5 or 7, which means a 7 is either here or here. This is 159, and that is a 6. So there's a 6 here, here, or here. I'm not sure that's helping me. 3, this can be 3, 5, or 7 only. So there's a 3 here, here, or here, and it can't be in 7. So this is 3 or 5, putting a 3 in one of those two. There's a 3 right there because that 3 is looking over. So this is now a 3, taking 3 out of both of those, giving me a 1, 9 pair, taking 1 and 9 out of there. This becomes 5. This becomes 3. This makes this a 1, which makes this a 9, which makes this a 7 and this a 1. Now this is saying that I have to put a 9 in 1, so this becomes the 3. This is now a 5, making this a 1. This is 7 and 9. I take 5 and 9 out of there, so this becomes 1. This becomes 7, which is self-indexing. There's no 5 there. There's no 5 or 7 there. Now, this is the 7. This is the 1. There is no 1 or 5 there. That is a 9, which that 9 makes that 6. This 1 makes that 8. Now, 3 or 9 for 2 means one of those is 2. So this is 4 or 8. There's almost certainly stuff I'm missing here. 2 is in 3 or 9. So one of those is 2. So this is 6 or 8. This here is 7. Sees 1, 3, 5, and 9. This is 7. So 6 goes right there, making that even. So these are 2 and 4, and that is all of the evens. So these are now odd. So this is a 5, and this is a 9, which means that cannot be a 4, because then that would be correct. I'm not sure here. So this is 2 or 8. This is 2, 4 or 8. 6 is in one of those two. One is right here. That's by Sudoku. So no wonder I didn't see it. That's a 5, which means this is an even digit. And it's 2 or 6 because 8 is in here. I've now got all of the evens across the top. So this becomes odd. So that becomes the 7. This becomes even. I've got to put a 3 or a 9 down. Where does 9 go in this column? I can't put it in either of those two. So this is the 9, and I need to put a 3 down here, and it can't go there. That's the 3, which is the odd in that, and that becomes even. Now, the odd digit I'm missing from here is 5, which could go in either of them, I think. Now, so 5 in one of those, 5 in one of those. Well, that 9 makes that 3. That 3 makes that 2, which makes that 8 and that 4, which makes that 2 and that 4, which makes this a 4-8 pair, which makes this a 2-6 pair. This is a 2. This is a 6. This is a 6-8 pair, which means these are 2 and 4. These are 4 and 5, which I don't see how to resolve. These, there's no 2 there anymore, so this is the 2, this is the 5, this is the 5, this is the 4. That's not the 2, so this is 6 or 8. 4 now can't go in any of those, so that's the 4. This is a 6, 8, and the 6 up here resolves it. That is the 8, that is the 6. That's an 8. These are 2 and 6. So this is a 4, which makes this 8 and this 4. Man, did I almost fail at this puzzle. This is 2 or 6. Have I got all the odd digits now? I think I've got all the odd digits. That's the 8. That's the 2. That's the 6. That's the 2. That's the 4. That's the 2. That's a 4. That's a 6. That's an 8. That's a 6. That's an 8. That's a 6. That's a 2. That's an 8. That's a 6. And that's a 2. Out of the blue, I honestly at the beginning could not see how this was even startable. Those hidden X-Wings were insane. Like, absolutely off the chart bonkers. I have no idea if that was the intended solve path or not, but that was really, really unusual. I did not expect anything like that. When I first saw this, I thought, oh, these are going to have to index each other. Nope, I was completely wrong when I first saw this, and that was very unexpected. It is not often that a puzzle completely surprises me the way that did. So, oh, it's going to be... Nope, I was completely wrong with my initial thoughts, and yet it taught me what I needed to learn without... Well, it made me feel a bit like an idiot, but that's okay, because I kind of was. Wow. I hope you made the same discoveries I did along that one, because that one was a real journey of learning, and it's very, very hard to make a puzzle that does that. So, hats off to Olima for that one. That was masterfully done. Thank you very much for that puzzle. That was a wonderful submission. And please, if you do have puzzles or recommendations, please submit them. Even though I'm going on holidays, it would be nice to come back from holidays and have a whole bunch of puzzles to choose from. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Sorry, I'm just floored by that one. Wow. And as always, good luck with your solving.